America's funniest home videos. Weeknights starting at 7 on Superstation WGN. The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
We send you happy Independence Day wishes from the U.S. Capitol today as WGN Sports presents Chicago Cubs baseball. It's a beautiful afternoon here on the 4th of July, and the Cubs are rolling. They fired off 10 wins in their last 11 games as they play Game 3 of this series against the Washington Nationals. Happy 4th of July and welcome to Cubs baseball today. Bob Brenly and Len Casper. I've got the red, white, and blue on here.
Very nice.
You like
very
that?
Nice.
And we're ready to go. And Aramis Ramirez is back in the lineup for the Cubs today.
And it's a good thing for the Cubs that Aramis is back in the lineup. In the 9 games since he came back from the disabled list, he's driven in 7, scored 10. You see what he's done during the course of this 7-game hit streak, batting over 400. He is just locked in. There was some concern coming off the DL. He might miss a beat. That hasn't been the case.
Mark DeRosa stays in the lineup. He plays right today. Lefties on the mound. Rich Hill looking for a much better outing than his last time out.
Yeah, the Cubs need Rich Hill to step it back up again. He got off to such a good start this year. The last couple times out, he has not been as good against the Brewers. He got banged around a little bit last time out. And for Matt Chico, this is a young guy that reminiscent of Tom Glavine. He tries to cut the ball in on the righties, throws change-ups away. However, he's got 7 losses and a no decision in his last 8 starts.
Well, a chance to win this series today. The Cubs have taken the first 2. They're red hot. We'll have baseball coming up on the 4th of July from Washington, D.C. next.
Chicago Cubs baseball brought to you by Bud.TV, where entertainment is always on and only on www.bud.tv. Comcast. Catch more Cubs home games in HD on Comcast Digital Cable. Call 1-888 for Best TV today. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit Southwest.com today.
What's so funny?
It's supposed to be a parrot, not a carrot, you moron.
Listen up! 3 Bud Lights for everyone, if this doesn't leave the room.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
You know, you only need one eye patch.
That's cold.
Why does that bother you?
Why does it bother me? So easy a caveman can do it?
Well, it's just a commercial.
Okay. Well, what if it said, Geico.com, so easy a therapist can do it?
Well, that commercial wouldn't make sense to me.
Why not?
Well, therapists
Are what? Smart? My mother's calling. I'll put it on speaker.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hey, Cubs fans, keep your eye on the ball. Every time a Cubs player hits a homer at Wrigley, you could be a winner. It's the Southwest Airlines How Far Did It Fly Home Run Contest. After every Cubs homer, write down the distance along with your name and address and send it to WGN TV. 10 winners will receive 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. For every Cubs homer, ask yourself, how far did it fly? From Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the Chicago Cubs.
4th of July, always a good time to mention the Thomas Jefferson pen Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we're in Washington, D.C. for Cubs baseball today.
And we're pursuing happiness.
And we're ready to play. We'll get the Cubs Pepsi lineup here momentarily. Alfonso Soriano starting it off against left-hander Matt Chico. Fouls away for strike one.
I should correct myself right away. In the open, I said Matt Chico had 7 losses and a no decision in his last 8. It's exactly the opposite. 1 loss, 7 no decisions.
So 8 winless starts since his last win on May 17th against the Atlanta Braves. Cubs 2 games over 500 for the first time all year. Right now 5.5 back of Milwaukee. They're in second place in the Central. And 5 out in the wild card.
I mentioned Chico a little bit like Tom Glavine. He'll try to cut the fastball in on the right-handers. He has a natural cut to his fastball that he really has to battle against when he wants to sink the ball away from them. He'll also throw a straight changeup and occasional breaking ball. But look for him to make mistakes over the heart of the plate. When the catcher Flores sets up away from a right-hander, that ball has a tendency to stray back over the heart of the plate.
Soriano 4 for 9 in the series. Bounced up there past everybody.
Boy, how'd you hold that one? Ball hits a good 5 or 6 feet out in front of home plate.
I guess he had a wild pitch earlier in the year that went over the first base dugout.
That would qualify as a wild pitch.
So I guess occasionally one will get away from him. Let's check out the rest of Lou Piniella's Pepsi lineup. Your world, your Pepsi. Terrio coming up. Lee Ramirez, Mark DeRosa in right. Pagan, Fontenot, Bowen, and Hill. Another foul, still 3-2 on the Cubs leadoff man Alfonso Soriano. 83 degrees as we get underway just after noon here in the East. And back home in Chicago, we're happy you're spending your breakfast / brunch with us.
Boy, as you can see from the first hitter of the ball game, Matt Chico doesn't really have a put-away pitch. He's not overpowering with his velocity. Doesn't have great movement on his pitches. He just doesn't have that go-to pitch to strike a hitter out, get him to swing and miss.
First time he has ever faced the Cubs. A ground ball to third for Ryan Zimmerman, and he gets the out.
We've seen Ryan Zimmerman make the first defensive play of the game for the Nationals. Let's take a look at the rest of the defense behind Matt Chico today. Robert Fick will be playing left field. Nook Logan in center. Austin Kearns over in right field. We've seen Ryan Zimmerman at third base. Felipe Lopez at short. Ronnie Belliard at second. The lone all-star from the Nationals, Dimitri Young, over at first base. Jesus Flores doing the catching for the left-hander Matt Chico.
Ryan Terrio had a couple of hits in game 2. Knocked in a run, had a sac bunt. I was just thinking, you know, Dimitri Young, actually his uniform will be the most appropriate in the All-Star game next week. It'll say Nationals on it. That could be the home uniform for the National League right there. I do like, by the way, that in baseball, you wear your team's uniform, and all the other sports that I can think of, you've got an all-star or Pro Bowl uniform. In football, they do wear their own helmet.
Now, on the workout day before the All-Star game, they have a uniform, so to speak, as Zimmerman's going to make another play at first base to get Ryan Terrio. All the National League players will wear the same practice jerseys on Monday, as well as the American League players. But then, as you said, they wear their regular uniforms for the game itself.
And you also see a lot of guys wearing white shoes, which you normally don't see.
Well, those shoe companies, they like to draw attention to their product, and this is one of the biggest stages that baseball has during the course of the regular season. So they break out all the stuff that they usually keep in the back room.
I wonder if those companies tell their players, don't wear your pants like Derek Lee is right now. I want to cover the shoe. Here comes a 1-0 pitch to Derek, and he pops it up off of first. Young with a long run, and he makes a catch in foul ground. That's a 1-2-3 start for rookie lefty Matt Chico. On Independence Day, 07, the Nationals coming up.
Make it easy for yourself. With Southwest Airlines, you can fly nonstop from Chicago Midway to Long Island MacArthur for just $39 one way with a 7-day advance purchase.
You are now free to move about the country.
I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. I know you were right.
Fall in love with breakfast again. Get back that feeling with breakfast anytime you want with Denny's Extreme Grand Slam.
This summer, get the sunblock that also blocks the bite. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast Sunblock and Repellent. Up to 8-hour protection against harmful rays and pesky bites without the odor. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast. Block the burn and the bite.
Every time they get close, within arm's reach, just a breath away, Jack Bauer is always one step ahead.
You're going to tell me what I want to know. It's just a question of how much you want it to hurt.
No one can catch him except you. Catch 24 Saturdays at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN. It's the best season yet.
Well, the Washington Nationals have scored just 19 runs over their last 10 games. Again, I'm not good at math, but that's not a lot. Logan Belliard, Zimmerman at the top. The All-Star Young cleaning up. Austin Kearns in right. Lopez at short. Robert Fick getting the start at left. Jesus Flores, a Rule 5 pick. Catching for Matt Chico, so a couple of rookies making up their battery.
And here's how the Cubs take the field defensively today behind starter Rich Hill. Brought to you by Pepsi, your world, your Pepsi. Soriano, Pagan, and DeRosa across the outfield today. Ramirez at third. Ryan Terrio once again at shortstop today. Mike Fontenot over at second base. Derek Lee at first. Rob Bowen doing the catching for left-hander Rich Hill.
Got the flag on the cap. All the teams around baseball will have that today. As Rich tries to get back over 500. He hasn't won since June 7th in Atlanta. Back-to-back no decisions. The Cubs winning both starts, but just 3 innings his last time out. And what we just saw, we saw way too much of against Milwaukee. In the first inning in his last start, 45 pitches, including 18 foul balls in the 3 innings, 92 pitches, 37 fouls. So there's been some talk about maybe varying the speed of his pitches a little bit more. A swing and a miss as he puts away Logan. And you might see Rich mix in his changeup a little bit more often as well.
A good start to the ball game for Rich Hill. A couple of low fastballs, and then his first curveball of the game gets a swing and a miss from Nook Logan. I think that changeup was a real good pitch for Rich Hill early in the season. We saw him use it in some of those hitters counts, 2-1, 3-1. Sometimes a legitimate straight changeup. Other times he'd just take a little off his fastball. But as you mentioned recently, his pitches are all pretty close to the same speed. All the fastballs are in the same neighborhood. All the curveballs are in the same velocity range. Talk all the time about guys adding and subtracting. The whole idea is to keep the ball off the barrel of the bat.
1-1 on Ronnie Belliard. Here's the pitch. Bouncer foul past third base.
See, and that's the kind of swing you would expect on a Rich Hill curveball. Get the batter way out in front, hit the top part of the ball, and pull ground balls foul down the third base side. Unfortunately, a couple of games this year, we've seen hitters really lay back on that curveball, which led me to speculate that perhaps he was tipping his pitches. Larry Rothschild and Rich have spent a lot of time looking at videotape, and up to this point, they haven't discovered anything that would be relaying what pitch is coming to the hitter.
Rich came in tied for 9th in the National League in strikeouts with 90. Picked up number 91 as he struck out Logan. Curveball a little bit outside. The 6'5" lefty coming back. Fly ball to left field. Soriano is going back to the warning track, and he's going to make the catch about 378 feet from home plate. We have not seen a home run in this series. We've only seen a couple go out toward the wall, and probably the best hit ball was the one that broke up the no-hitter in game 1. That was the Brian Schneider double on Ted Lillard.
That looked like a routine fly ball to medium depth left field. It just kept drifting and drifting. Soriano kept backpedaling until he gets right up against the wall out there in left center field. There is a considerable amount of wind up above the roof of the stadium, but because it's an enclosed bowl, I'm not sure what effect that has on batted balls down here at field level. Really tough to get a gauge on which direction the wind is blowing when you're inside the bowl itself.
Well, I know you like to do personal wind tests, and you were up there on the roof a couple of hours ago, and I was a little worried about you because you weren't strapped down. But
I'm still a little queasy. I'm not good with heights at all.
Big swing and a miss on a fastball by Zimmerman. 2-1. Big fireworks night here in D.C.
There's a pretty good chance we'll see some dual peony with strobes, maybe some dahlias with crackling. The ever popular gold brocade chrysanthemum. That's one of my favorites. In the local Washington Post today, they have a full section dedicated to the fireworks show, and they've got the music score for the 1812 overture and indicating when each firework is going to go off during the course of the song. I am psyched.
You are ready to rock and roll tonight. And he rocked and rolled last night, picking up his 10th win of the year. Chance for 11 going into the break. Carlos will start on Sunday against Shane Newman of the Pittsburgh Pirates, who was another teammate Mike Fontenot and Ryan Theriot on the 2000 LSU Tigers.
No wonder they won the national title. Every team we play against has a former Tiger playing in the major leagues now. We're getting back to Big Z. Since his self-proclaimed second season started on June 6th, he's 5-1 with a 142.
That's deep left field and into the bullpen. So we just talked about it. The first home run of the series for either team, number 13 for Zimmerman, and the Nationals on top 1-0. And it's their first lead in the series.
You'd like to get in and out of town quickly before Zimmerman heats up. He is too good a hitter to be scuffling along the way he has been this year. I was talking to the Nationals third base coach Tim Tolman yesterday about Zimmerman, and he said that he thinks Zimmerman really suffers in this ballpark because his natural swing is to hit the ball to right center field, and that is no man's land in this ballpark. That time Zimmerman put it right down the third base line for a solo home run.
A line drive homer, just their 50th as a team. They're last in the league in home runs. Number 17 allowed by Rich Hill. You make mentioned the wind, and you know, this is the first day game in this series, and based on our anecdotal evidence, it would appear as though the ball carries better during the daytime.
We've seen 2 fly balls hit the left field. One got out of the ballpark, and the other very nearly got out of the ballpark.
Pregame is over to make this catch. Well, the home run ball's been a problem for Rich Hill. Now in the top 3 in home runs allowed in the National League. 1-0 Washington after 1.
Visit the largest science museum in the Western Hemisphere, the Museum of Science and Industry, msichicago.org.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Drive it forever.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Come fall in love with New Orleans all over again.
There's no place like it.
Music comes bubbling right up from the street.
Come for the party!
Come feel good.
Everybody loves the French Quarter. Come for the food.
Come for it all.
Come fall in love with New Orleans all over again.
Call now or visit NewOrleansOnline.com to order your free guide and get great hotel rates starting at $79.
Every time they get close, within arm's reach, just a breath away, Jack Bauer is always one step ahead. No one can catch him except you. Catch 24 Saturdays at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Well, there are pictures circulating around the country of us. 60 years strong here on WGN Sports. Thanks to Roy and Raquel. Ryan Zimmerman giving the Nationals their first advantage here in this series. As we play game 3 of 4. Ramos Ramirez with a ground ball to short, and he's safe at first. Low throw in the dirt by Lopez, and Young couldn't handle it. And Ramirez is on.
Ramos was 3 for 5 in this series before this at bat. Hard ground ball right to the shortstop. Gets there in good shape. Just doesn't make a good throw. Spikes it into the dirt over there to Dimitri Young. Plays it off the heel of his glove. Until Ramirez is still laboring with that knee. There are days when he runs much smoother than other days, but didn't look very comfortable that time.
So the error on Lopez, and the leadoff man is on base. DeRosa takes it low, ball 1. Mark with a 9-game hitting streak, during which he has hit .412.
DeRosa also has 3 hits in the first 2 games of this series.
Healthy on base percentage at .365. Chico, a true rookie. This is his first year in the big leagues. And in a lot of ways, you'd have to say he's been their best starter just because he's been healthy all year. He's been the only guy.
He came over from the Arizona Diamondbacks in the Livan Hernandez trade. He's a highly thought of prospect in the Diamondbacks organization and finds himself in the rotation here with the Nationals at the big league level.
Just a little bit inside, according to the crew chief Mike Riley, who calls the balls and strikes. 2-2. Young holding on Ramirez, who is not a threat to steal a base with the knee. There's a base hit into center. They'll go station to station. First and second. 10-gamer now for DeRosa.
Sounds like a broken record, but DeRosa's approach is to drive that ball to the opposite field, or in this case back up the middle of the field. That's why he doesn't get fooled as often as some hitters. He doesn't jump out at the fastball. He doesn't get fooled by off-speed pitches. He's content to hit the ball to the big part of the field.
A rather modest application of the eye black today for Mark DeRosa. We've seen some guys really go overboard with it. Ball one on Pregame.
Tastefully understated.
Was it Miguel Cabrera of the Marlins? Had his entire cheek covered.
To keep the sun out of his ears.
Pagano, switch hitter, batting right-handed. That's a strike. Chico, 24 years old, 5'11", 190 pounds. Last two starts without a decision, but a 0.75 ERA, so he's given his team a chance. It's the sign from Flores. The kick and the pitch. Well, that was close. Didn't get the call. Pagano will take it. 2-1.
You talk about Chico. His last time out against the Pirates went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits in shutout baseball. Came away with a no decision in that game. The start before against the Cleveland Indians in interleague play, 6 innings, 4 hits, only 1 run. Got a no decision in that game as well.
Good job by Angel. Very patient at bat. 3-1. Fontenot on deck. An error and a single, and the Cubs in business. Matt Sinatra made somebody laugh. That never happens. Boy, Matty keeps everybody loose in that clubhouse every single day. There's a strike. 3-2. He's perpetually in a good mood. Cubs first base coach.
Except when he's dodging foul balls down there in the first base coach's box. That's about the only time the smile leaves his face.
Big pitch coming up. With a 3-2 to Pagano. High fly ball. Nook Logan with a beat on it. Ramirez is going to tag up, but he will hold there. And in fact, the throw comes back behind him. I'll tell you what, that was very close.
I'm not sure if Logan saw Ramirez stop and was throwing behind him intentionally, or whether he was just conceding that Ramirez was going to go to third base and he was going to throw to second to try to hold DeRosa at first.
He almost got doubled off second base. Look how close that was. Now, was Belliard even on the base? I don't think he was. If Ronnie Belliard is on second base and stretched out like a first baseman, they might have had a shot at Ramirez. That throw surprised everybody. Fontenot the hitter. 1 out, 2 on. Low for ball 1. You've seen the last 2 hitters, Bob, take that fastball just below the knees. Looks like a pretty good pitch to hit, but it's not a strike.
It's not a strike, and it isn't a good pitch to hit because you're probably going to end up hitting it on the ground, and that's what Chico wants right now, is a ground ball of one of his infielders to get out of this inning with a double play ball.
Popped up. And it'll be Belliard for the second out. Now this would be a good time for Rob Bowen to snap out of his 0 for 17. He, along with Jock Jones and Felix P.A., have worked with Lou Piniella and Gerald Perry on some mechanical issues at the plate. In the case of Rob Bowen, Lou wants him to just stay closed longer. Guess he's opening up a bit too fast. Here's a pitch. Another one a little low.
Yeah, Lou's quote in the paper, he has a tendency to open up. His knee flies, and once his knee flies, his hips fly. Once his hip flies, his shoulder flies, and once his shoulder flies, his head flies, and he can't see the ball.
Too many flies.
Yeah.
Way outside.
Well, it's, you know, it is the truth. We talk a lot about mechanics with pitchers, but hitters have certain checkpoints mechanically that they need to be in the proper position if they're going to hit the ball, if they're going to see the ball. And, you know, like the old song, the knee bone's connected to the thigh bone's connected to the hip bone. If one thing gets out of whack, it can throw your complete swing off, and you end up not seeing the ball as well as you should.
Taken for a strike. That was a pitcher's strike. 2-1. Just trying to quicken the swing of Jock Jones, and in the case of Felix Piet, they're getting him to tap a little bit and step forward. He has a pretty wide stance at the plate. Two and two now on Bowen.
I think in Piet's case, he gets so spread out with his stance. Lou talked about him spinning off the baseball. Once again, it's just a matter of getting into a good hitting position so that when the pitcher releases that ball, everything is balanced and you're ready to let that bat fly.
A one bouncer. Belliard throws out Bowen, and Chico gets out of it. 1-0 Washington.
Okay, now what? Rock, paper, scissors for it? Okay, that's fair. On three? Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
I threw paper.
I threw a rock.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Low 5.
That's cold.
I ain't got no money. I ain't got no car to take you on a date. Talk to me, girl.
It's a classic that still has much flavor. McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese. 2 big juicy quarter pound patties of 100% pure beef, pickles, and diced onions. Some things that are old school never lose their cool.
Talk to me, girl.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This summer, get the sunblock that also blocks the bite. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast Sunblock and Repellent. Up to 8-hour protection against harmful rays and pesky bites without the odor. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast. Block the burn and the bite.
Her name is Brandy.
She's that kind of girl. She's funky.
Her show is Moesha.
All for one and one for all. All for one, my butt. I'm out.
The message?
Follow your own style.
Weekdays at 5 on Superstation WGN.
Just because I'm a foster kid doesn't mean I'm a lost cause.
I have the potential for greatness.
Some people have an attitude about me because my parents have problems.
Give me a chance.
Do something to help me make it.
Make foster care better.
Don't write me off.
Foster kids are our kids.
I want to go back to that fly ball hit by Pagan and correct myself because Aramis did tag. So it looked like a close play at second base, but Belliard would have had to apply the tag. It would not have been a force play. Again, it was a lot closer than I think Aramis thought it was going to be.
Closer than it needed to be, that's for sure. I mean, it was a good deke to go to third base, and as I said, I'm not sure Logan was just conceding third base to Aramis Ramirez or whether he intentionally threw behind him. But whatever the case, Aramis was able to get back ahead of the throw.
Cubs failed to score after getting the first 2 guys on base. So Rich Hill will face Austin Kearns, Felipe Lopez, and Robert Fick here in the bottom of the second. Fastball, ball 1.
Kearns not real happy with the fact he was not in the starting lineup of the ball game last night. He said, I've spent so much time on the disabled list in my career. I want to play every game. I've already missed enough.
Former first-round pick of the Cincinnati Reds. Now see, look at his eye black. Much more than Mark DeRosa. And more like the norm these days. That's what most guys look like. Boy, the power number's way down this year. Three and one.
Boy, when Kearns was in Cincinnati, it seemed like every year the Reds would drop out of the pennant race. Kearns and Adam Dunn were the two guys whose names were floated most often in trade rumors. And early in their respective careers, Kearns was the guy I think everybody thought was going to be the better player.
Golfed in the air the other way. It's the aforementioned DeRosa to make the catch. On Sunday, July 15th, the Cubs will host the Houston Astros at 1:20. The first 10,000 fans to arrive at the ballpark will receive a Cubs blue T-shirt, compliments of Washington Mutual. That was not the actual T-shirt, but we looked for a Cubs T-shirt that was blue. And there are a lot of them in the ballpark. Bob, you have a lot of fans who ride the Metro here in Washington, D.C. I was on it last night after the game, and everybody wanted to know where you were. I said, well, you know, he has his own private transportation from hotel to ballpark and back. But they're big Bob Brenly fans.
Yeah, I have my own private limo, $200,000 vehicle, seats about 55 people. Otherwise known as the team bus.
Maybe I'll be invited one of these days to join you.
Well, needless to say, the mood on the team bus has been very good recently after ball games. I don't need to tell you, Len, you've been on enough of them after losses. That's not a pleasant trip. It doesn't matter if the hotel is across the street from the ballpark. When you have to get on that bus with the guys that have just lost a ball game, that's not fun.
Lopez with a base hit into left. Were you the type of manager who could carry on a meaningless conversation about something else after a loss with somebody, or did people kind of keep their distance?
I wasn't a guy that demanded that people stay away from me. It was an appropriate mourning period after the ball game, but usually by the time you got in the shower and had a little bite to eat, got your dress clothes on, ready to go, it was gone. Start worrying about the next ball game.
I like how you phrased it. You start worrying about the next game. Constant worry.
That's all it is. It's just, as we've seen in this game of baseball, there are so many variables, so many options. It isn't as easy as just saying, yeah, let's put that guy in the game. There's always numbers to crunch and histories between players. And the guy's a high ball hitter, and we've got a high ball pitcher in the game. Maybe we ought to make a change, right? I mean, there's so many things that go in and out of your mind during the course of a ball game that, you know, by the time it's over, you just want to relax and get away from it. But inevitably, you start thinking about the next one. Where it always helps to have that one coach on the staff, and every manager has him. And I think for Lou Piniella, there's no question it's Matt Sinatro, the guy that is kind of a sounding board. And you know, when Lou needs time away from the game,
looking into center, and we'll send Lopez to third base. It'll be a stolen base and an error on Bowen.
Huge jump by Felipe Lopez over there at first base. Went on first movement by Rich Hill, and Rich very slow unloading the ball to home plate. No chance at all for Rob Bowen. That's one where you'd like your catcher just to make a nice waist high accurate throw to second base. The only chance you have to get that runner is if he slides over the bag. Ball sails on into center field for an error on Rob Bowen. Nationals with a runner at third base with 2 outs. Rather, 2 outs. My bad.
Flores at the plate after the strikeout to Fick. on that last pitch. Breaking ball in the zone. Strike one. Flores a Rule 5 pick, which means he has to spend the entire year on the major league roster or be offered back to his original team. He's with the Mets, taken in December by the Nationals. Swing and a miss. That'll end the inning. Runner stranded at third base. The end of 2. It's the Nationals 1, the Cubs nothing.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits.
Sweet. Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
Fall in love with breakfast again. Get back that feeling with Denny's Extreme Grand Slam. Because at Denny's, you can always eat like it's the weekend.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Drive it forever.
Everyone has their routine. It's the same old stuff. Nothing new. Well, it's time to shake things up. Put some bada bing into your day. Even kick up your heels. The cure for every day is laughter. So laugh it up with America's Funniest Home Videos. Weekdays at 3. Then get hit again. Weeknights at 7. America's Funniest Home Videos on Superstation WGN.
Caution, professional toolman at work. He's fully trained to handle dangerous situations. Like 3 kids, 1 wife, and now. Remember, don't try this at home. Home Improvement, weekdays.
Weekdays at 5:30 on Superstation WGN.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. Your official summer baseball station is brought to you by refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it. Cubs aren't used to trailing. They have won 10 of their last 11. The Cubs have not had a stretch like this. 10 wins in an 11-game stretch since late May into early June of 2001. It's been over 6 years since the Cubs have been this good over this period of time. Bunted foul by Rich Hill. They had a 12-game winning streak, May 19th to June 2nd, 2001. It was under Don Baylor. Oh, 2 on Hill. Back to the top, and Soriano followed by Terrio after the pitcher. In 2001, the Cubs went 88-74, finished in 3rd place. Hill strikes out. Flores will throw to first. Young touching the bag. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
It's the funniest bloopers, blunders, and embarrassing moments, all caught on tape. America's Funniest Home Videos. Weekdays at 7 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
It'll be the biggest crowd of the series. Not all the seats are filled, but all the sections have fans populating them, and a nice holiday crowd.
And a big ballpark like this, when you walk in and see people sitting in the upper deck in center field, you know it's going to be a big crowd. That section from foul pole to foul pole out there in the outfield has been closed for the first couple games of the series, but slowly filling up here today.
PGA tournament. Tiger Woods in town for the Congressional. Foul ball hit on the ground pass. Mike Quaddy. Just piling up souvenirs down there. You know, this place is unique now because there aren't many like it, if any, really around baseball anymore. But 10 years ago, if this place had been open, you walk in here and you go, are we in Philadelphia? Are we in Pittsburgh? Are we in Cincinnati? That's the only thing that would tell you you're not in Philly was real grass. Atlanta, Fulton County Stadium. Young's going to lay out, good effort, couldn't get it.
The fans appreciate the effort. Dimitri Young, by his own admission, is not going to win many foot races. Makes a heck of an effort for a diving play over there in foul ground.
And even though I actually never did watch a baseball game at Candlestick Park, the orange seats kind of remind you with the stick.
Those cookie cutter flying saucer stadiums that were so in vogue there for a while. Like you said, if you didn't know what town you were in, you really couldn't tell by the ballpark itself, other than maybe some of the signage in the ballpark that would tell you where you were.
This will be Austin Kearns to haul it in. Clock kind of gives it away with DC. By the way, does Austin Kearns have a Rorschach test on his face with the sunglasses and the eye black?
It's quite a look.
I see it does.
Not necessarily a good look, but it's a look.
That's a base hit for Theriot down the line and left. And he'll end up at second base. Big series for Ryan Theriot. Really go back to Sunday at 3 doubles, 3 runs.
Looked like that ball got deflected ever so slightly by Zimmerman over further into foul territory. He's frustrated with himself, thought he should have made the play, but once he deflects it over into foul territory, that turns into an easy double for Theriot. I got to tell you, Len, I was watching Robert Fick play catch before the ball game. He does not appear to be throwing well at all. He got to that ball over in foul territory and just lobbed it back to the infield. After every couple of warm-up throws, he was playing around with the back of his right shoulder. Not sure exactly what the problem is, but didn't look comfortable playing catch before the game.
First pitch strike on Lee.
You know, that's one of the things as a third base coach that you used to be able to determine watching teams take infield practice. Both clubs would come out and take their normal batting practice before the ball game, and then a very quick infield practice. The outfielders would throw the bases, the infielders would turn double plays and make routine plays at first. Well, the infield has gone by the wayside. You don't see that much anymore, so if you're going to glean any information about an outfielder's throwing arm, you have to do it during warm-ups, and you can see that lollipop throw from Fick. That's about how he was throwing before the ball game as well.
2 strikes on Lee. Ramirez on deck. He'll only get a chance if Derek can reach. A little bit away. 1-2.
Well, the Nationals wanted that pitch. Appeared to be just off the outside corner. Nationals giving Ryan Theriot a lot of room up the middle of the field. Ronnie Belliard playing straight away at second base. Lopez shaded into the hole a little bit at short, and Theriot is really getting a big secondary lead. Should be able to score easily on a ball hit to the outfield.
Cubs have won all 5 in this season series. There are just 2 to go, including today and tomorrow night. Two-2 pitch. Popped up. And Young ends up falling down. It was a foul ball, but he made the catch. It's a little help from his friends. Still 1-0.
On the next Scrubs.
It's a beautiful shot of you.
It's a little fantasy, a little reality.
This morning I asked you to do me a favor involving my mother.
I can only hope that it had something to do with hiring people to kill her.
And a whole lot of Tara Reid.
Damn.
Next Scrubs.
Tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
Flying to the Washington area for business? If these 15 reasons don't convince you to fly Southwest Airlines nonstop to Baltimore, Washington, and Washington Dulles International, maybe this will. Unlike other airlines, our low fares don't have hidden fees.
You are now free to move about the country.
So you'll let me test drive your network, and if you're not the best...
We'll pay for your calls.
Really?
You're good. America's most reliable. Well, we'll see about that.
Now it's easy to sell your home fast with the No Commission Company. ForSaleByOwner.com.
We sold our home in 3 weeks.
I had no idea it could be that easy. It really was.
We've helped thousands of people save millions of dollars. We give you lawn signs and a step-by-step guide. We even have advisors on call to answer any questions. Visit ForSaleByOwner.com now at ForSaleByOwner.com. ForSaleByOwner.com. No commission, lots of help.
It was an eventful half inning for Dimitri Young. Missed out on a diving attempt and then fell down as he had to back up to catch this Derek Lee foul pop.
You're going to need a backhoe to fill some of those divots out there from Dimitri Young flopping around in foul territory. A smile on his face, makes a nice catch backpedaling, and it took 2 teammates to get him back to his feet.
That's Matt Chico, the pitcher, 4 for 25. Bottom 3, 1-0 Nationals. Ryan Zimmerman with a 2-out solo home run in the first against Rich Hill. Well, in another example of me not being able to read my own writing, I sent out best wishes to a big Cub fan, Eric Lassen. I said Hummelstown, Iowa. It's Hummelstown, Pennsylvania. 1 letter wrong, or an I instead of a P. So I apologize to all the great citizens of Hummelstown, Pennsylvania. Matt Chico with just his 5th career hit. It's a leadoff single in the 3rd. And it'll bring up Nook Logan, the leadoff man.
Fastball up over the heart of the plate. Even opposing pitchers are going to hit that ball hard. Gets it past Ramirez on into left field for a leadoff base hit. See how Manny Acta chooses to play it. We talked about it a little bit last night. When your ball club is struggling offensively, sometimes you hate to give away outs. He passed on an opportunity to put down a sacrifice bunt with 2 runners on base last night because he said, I just don't want to give up the outs the way we're struggling offensively. But and no sign of a bunt that time from Logan. You try to do what you can as a manager to jumpstart your offense, maybe get some runners in motion to open holes for the hitter, anything you could do to try to increase the odds of getting a base hit.
When that ball was caught, it was too low, but it went over the plate in the strike zone, and it's 0-2. Good call by Mike Riley. Boy, not every umpire will give you that pitch. Two on the way. High pop fly, left center. Soriano and Pagan looked at each other, and Soriano's going to take it. Hey fans, All-Star voting is not over. You have the final say for the last 2 All-Stars. Go to Cubs.com, cast your All-Star final vote today. Who will you send to the 78th All-Star game in San Francisco? Voting ends at 6 p.m. Eastern time this Thursday, July 5th. Carlos Zambrano's on the list in the National League. You can vote up to 25 times, which I guess Carlos has already done. And he did vote for himself. Belliard hits a ground ball. Ramirez gets the out at second base. And the turn by Fontenot. They go around the horn. 5-4-3 to win the inning. 3 in the books. Nationals 1, Cubs nothing.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. I know you were right.
Fall in love with breakfast again. Get back that feeling with breakfast anytime you want with Denny's Extreme Grand Slam.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Drive it forever.
For my sport, the only sunscreen is Coppertone Sport.
It protects me from damaging UVA and UVB rays.
And it doesn't run in my eyes, no matter how hard I sweat.
Coppertone Sport, high-performance sunscreens. A small town with a dark secret.
I got the cyanide rolling down there right now.
And exposing the truth could be fatal.
Tell your boss I'm coming to get him.
Steven Seagal.
On second thought, I'll tell him.
Fire Down Below. Thursday at 8 on Superstation WGN.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
The patriotic spirit that young baseball fan with the Stars and Stripes look. 1-0 Nationals. The Cubs batting in the 4th inning. Aramis Ramirez started the 5-4-3 double play, and he'll lead things off. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh, and they'll start a little later. Claudio Vargas against Ian Snell. Chico has a sign from Flores. The pitch is fouled back. All-Star break will come at a good time for Aramis. Give that aching left knee 4 days off. I think he deserved to make the All-Star team. I'm sure you agree. But in the end, having that extra time off will probably be better for him in the long run. That's Kearns to make the grab. 1 out.
Well, you're absolutely right. I do agree that he deserves to be on the National League All-Star team, and I also agree that he could probably use the 4 days off. I mean, it goes without saying, being either elected to or selected for an All-Star team is a huge honor, and any player who is selected should go to the All-Star game to represent his team and his league. But sometimes those off days are so valuable. With a long second half of the season coming up, those little nagging injuries that you just never seem to quite get rid of because you're playing every day. And sometimes those 4 off days at the break this year are enough to heal up so that you start the second half feeling closer to 100% than you have in a long time.
And I think Carlos Zambrano's in a similar boat. You know, if he makes it, you're happy for him. He wants to go, but if he doesn't make it, your ace starting pitcher gets a few days off. Mike Riley to shake that one off.
That sounded like a direct hit to the chest protector. Well, you can see when that catcher slides out to the outside corner, the umpire tries to stay centered on the plate as much as he can, and that time Riley was just exposed over the left shoulder of Jesus Flores and took the brunt of that one right in the chest.
I'll tell you what, he told Flores, let's go. He told the Nationals trainer, I'm fine. He's a gamer.
I'll tell you how long ago I played, Len. Some of the umpires still use the external chest protector, they used to call them a balloon protector, that they would hold up, and in effect they would hide behind it. The only thing that was exposed would be possibly the thigh area. They had shin guards on to protect their shins, had the big balloon chest protector to cover their upper body, and then of course the mask to cover their face and head. And I don't remember umpires getting injured as much back in my playing days as you see nowadays.
Dimitri Young's going to watch this one drop.
Not this time, Dimitri says. That's a little too far.
He'll stay pretty busy in this ballpark with all that foul territory. Three and two on DeRosa. High bouncer. It's Zimmerman to make the play, and the throw over to Young in plenty of time. Pregame will bat with nobody on. Now, speaking of All-Star break, the All-Star break and plans, I've talked to a couple of players who weren't quite sure what they were going to do, and I think they're formulating those plans here the next couple of days. That's a pretty big deal for guys. You know, I think the number one thing is, how can I just relax, spend time with my family? Some guys want to actually go back to their off-season homes. Other guys deciding, you know what, it's too far away. I don't want to spend 2 days traveling. I'd rather just go back to Chicago and have the extra time.
I was talking to Michael Wirtz this morning, and I think he was one of those guys that's kind of caught in between. He'd like to go back to Arizona to his home, but doesn't want to spend the time in the airports and on the planes. And he was talking about just staying in Chicago and enjoying some of the tourist sites, some of the things that the players don't get an opportunity to do at home during the baseball season. Derek Lee's going to get an opportunity to get back to Sacramento for 1 day after the All-Star game. He's going to leave immediately after the game on Tuesday night to go to Sacramento, see some family and friends, and then back to Chicago on Thursday.
Angel not happy with himself as he popped it up back at second base. And that's an easy 1-2-3 inning for left-hander Matt Chico, shutting out the Cubs through 4. It's 1-0 Nationals.
The Greg Barron Show.
He just gives you the honest truth.
Real problems, real solutions.
We don't talk about the problem and then solve it later. We solve it today.
Critics say Greg's sensible and heartfelt. Refreshing. The New York Times says the Greg Barron Show works.
My life changed from being on his show.
Greg Barron. Weekdays at 2 on Superstation WGN.
How long is this gonna last? I'm ready to hit the Bud Light. I already took care of it.
Say, well, all right, now we are gathered here today to join in marriage, Bob and Julie. Bob, do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? Do I hear and I do? I do. Do I hear and I do?
I do.
Julie, do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do I hear and I do? I do. Do I hear and I do?
I do.
Going once, going twice, and now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
And away we go. Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
So what I owe you? 100, 100 and a quarter, 100 and a half, 1 divide 200, 2 and a quarter.
That's cold.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Irritating skin itch? Get the quick fix. Bug bite itch? Get the quick fix. Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream helps stop skin irritations and itches fast with 2 strong medicines. Got an itch? Get Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream, the quick fix for almost every itch.
Watch Funniest Pets and People and get your groove on. Kick up your heels. Maybe do-si-do or do-si don't. Watch people and their pets get funky. It's so funny, it'll bring you to your knees. Boogie down with Funniest Pets and People. Weeknights at 6:30, only on Superstation WGN.
Just say it's okay, and George is on his way. He's got a lead. Well, time for the president's race again, and George was not going to lose today.
Staff. The other presidents aren't about to take the victory from the father of our country on his bobblehead.
As they said, George in a landslide. It is George Washington
wins by a landslide.
bobblehead day here at the ballpark. Teddy still has not won. Ryan Zimmerman with a home run, accounting for the lone tally for either team. That was back in the first inning. A line drive just over the wall and left into the Cubs bullpen. His 13th home run of the year. Rich has been really good. His last 3 road starts, 1-0 with a 0.92, but his last 3 home starts, 0-1 with a 9.24. He's been more comfortable lately away from Wrigley Field. And again, a fortunate no decision for him his last time out. 3 innings, 5 runs against Milwaukee. This is his RFK Stadium debut. This one glances off his glove. It's going to cost him. Rich not happy with himself. It's a hit for Zimmerman. And he's 2 for 2.
Rich upset he wasn't able to make the play. Should be more upset with the pitch that he made right there. That pitch was hanging up belt high over the middle of the plate.
Hit number 4 for the Nationals. Big swing by Young. Deflected off Rob Bowen. He'll beat the Nationals at Wrigley Field on May 5th. 6 innings, 1 run allowed. So facing them for just the 2nd time in his career. Sean Marshall tomorrow night against right-hander Jason Bergman. Jason Marquis on Friday versus left-hander Paul Maholm in Pittsburgh. Saturday night, Ted Lilly against righty John Van Benscoten. And Carlos Zambrano and Shane Newman on Sunday. Back-to-back singles to start the bottom of the 4th. We appreciate all the emails we have received after Bob clued us in on some great presidential trivia last night. That was fun.
We've got a little more for you today, too.
All right.
We've got our official George Washington bobblehead doll here. Are you the father of our country? Did you have wooden teeth? I got to tell you, for young children here at the ballpark, those big-headed presidents running around are scary.
We have a 4th of July post on our blog today from our executive producer, Bob Vorwald. And people have asked about Go Cubs Go. That's by Steve Goodman, the Cubs victory song. So here's Austin Kearns.
Fred, did you know that James Buchanan was never married?
Really?
Yeah, how about that?
Do we know where he is? We know where he's not. Hill gets a sign. 2 on, nobody out. Here's the pitch. Well, our associate producer Mark Brady came up with this one. Which president was born on the 4th of July?
That one I missed.
Calvin Coolidge.
Calvin Coolidge. Silent Cal, they used to call him. There was a story told that Calvin Coolidge was hosting a dinner at the White House. And he was a man of such few words that one of his lady guests said, "I bet I can get you to say 2 words." And Silent Cal said, "You lose."
You are chock full of presidential nuggets. Got him. Called strike 3. Big first out for Hill.
Well, it just freezes Kearns on a fastball. Right down to Versi. John Tyler was number 10.
Number 10?
10th president, okay. And the first president without a vice president. It's kind of like a manager without a bench coach, I guess.
So he wasn't very good at delegating, huh?
Apparently not. The 23rd president, Benjamin Harrison. His vice president was Levi Morton, the inventor of both the jeans and the steakhouse.
So Ron Santo, a huge fan of Levi Morton.
Yes, indeed.
Ron, by the way, not on this trip, and we hope he's doing well back home in Chicago. It was a scheduled off week, so Ron's doing fine. As Lopez flies out, 2 away in the inning. I'm sure he's going to check out the Dave Matthews Band, which is coming to the Alpine Valley Music Theater August 25th to 26th, brought to you by Live Nation and part of the Bud Light Concert Series. There are still tickets available. Visit livenation.com or call Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212. Bud Light and DMB, always worth it. Here's Robert Fick.
You know, and it goes without saying, we miss having Ron on the road with us, but Dave Otto doing his Ron Santo impersonation last night, got out of a cab and set his briefcase on the curb and then just walked into the hotel and left it sit there.
Did somebody remind him to grab it?
Either that or it was still there this morning, because I saw he had it when he got to the ballpark today.
Dave working with Pat Hughes and Corey Provis today. Matt Bolts, the brains of the operation. In the back row.
I'll take Paul Lynn for the block. It's like Hollywood Squares in these booths. Charlie Weaver for the win. Two and one. Back-to-back singles to start the inning by Zimmerman and Young. Then Kearns struck out looking. Lopez flied to right. That one dips too low.
The 3-1 pitch. It's a strike, and the count is full, and the runners will get a head start. Hill set, the kick, and the pitch to Fick. Fouled back, we'll do it again. It's still 2007, but the presidential race certainly has begun. We talked with George Will a couple of months ago. He said, yeah, it seems earlier than ever. Fly ball to right. It's DeRosa making the catch on the move. Nice job by Hill to get out of the inning as the Nationals strand 2. We're in Washington, D.C. Cubs trail 1-0.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits. Sweet. Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
Professional tool man at work. He's fully trained to handle dangerous situations. Like 3 kids, 1 wife, and Al. Remember, don't try this at home. Home Improvement, weekdays.
Weekdays at 5:30 on Superstation WGN.
From the night I went to the prom by myself to my 18th birthday party where all my ex-boyfriends showed up. It's all right here in the diary of me, Moesha Mitchell. Occupation, teenager.
Her name is Brandy. Her show is Moesha. Her message?
Follow your own star.
Weekdays at 5 on Superstation WGN.
Your test results came back great. Looks like the 2 of you can have a nice, healthy child together.
So this means that I'm not...
No, you're not lactose intolerant.
They were made for each other. Waffles and soft serve in the new Turtle Waffle Bowl Sundays at Dairy Queen with fresh baked waffles. Do one. And now go to freezeclickwin.com for a chance to win $500 daily.
Becker gets shot.
Someone finally shot you.
I always thought it'd be you, Margaret.
So did I.
Next Becker. Tonight at 9 Eastern.
Well, we got a lot of emails, I guess, about this shirt, and I'm told it is a prototype and is currently not available, but it's a pretty cool shirt.
It really is. It's like Team USA bowling. Great Cubs logo on the back, Wrigley Field on the front. It's a nice looking shirt.
I just have to get some bowling shoes, and I'm good to go.
I just noticed on this bobblehead doll, the George Washington bobblehead. Some little tidbits on the back of the box, even. Birthplace.
You are obsessed.
Westmoreland County, Virginia. His nickname was the father of his country. We all knew that. Favorite sports, fishing and fox hunting. Major achievements, winner of the Revolutionary War. Father of his country and the first president of the United States.
So would that be his clubhouse nickname? The father of our country?
I'm sure it'd be Big Daddy or something like that. You know how it is in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Well, and the other presidents involved in the race here at RFK Stadium will have their own bobblehead doll days later in the season, but George was the first president. He gets the first bobblehead.
Ted Lilly is hoping that Theodore Roosevelt wins that race here at some point. Ted Lilly was named after Teddy Roosevelt.
I have to believe Teddy Roosevelt, the president that races here, is going to snap one of these days. He hasn't won a race yet.
Mike went around, according to Andy Fletcher, and strikes out.
has so few moving parts in his swing, especially when he gets to 2 strides. He eliminates his stride at all with the right foot, just kind of rocks back onto his back leg and then reacts to what he sees. And I think he had a right to be upset that time.
I mentioned this earlier in the year with Theodore Roosevelt Lilly, as Bowen skies deep center. Logan has room. Ted Lilly's great-grandfather worked for Teddy Roosevelt. Ted's grandfather and father also named Theodore Roosevelt, so Ted is the 3rd. Our director, Skip Ellison, Fillmore Ellison. His grandfather named after Millard Fillmore, so that was handed down as Rich Hill with a base hit. Both starting pitchers with a hit today. Rich is 1 for 2. Trying to get something going here offensively against Matt Chico. That's just the 3rd hit for the Cubs.
I think that's something, maybe walking to the plate right now. Watching Chico throughout this ball game, as it's progressed, he's done better and better at keeping the ball down, which is normally a good thing. But Alfonso Soriano making his way to the plate, a real good low ball hitter. That should play right into his strength if he gets a pitch down there around the bottom of the kneecaps.
Hill will not be held at first as Dimitri Young plays behind the Cubs pitcher. 1-0 Washington. We're in the 5th inning. Here's the pitch by Chico. Misses a little bit inside. Soriano 4 for 11 in the series. 2 stolen bases, 3 runs. All the action coming in the first 2 games. He's 0 for 2 in game 3. Hit foul.
Ball girl's trying hard down that left field line, but she must have failed geometry. She hasn't played the angle off the wall right once in this series. Angle of deflection, angle of reflection. I remember some of that stuff, but apparently she missed class that day.
But she enjoys her job. That's all that matters. And the best thing she did, she gave it to a kid.
Yeah, got to give it to a kid. I hope it wasn't that same little girl that already had 2.
Another one pulled foul. Oh, here she goes. Nice play.
Yeah. Yes, 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 yes.
Everybody. Hill to second. Well, Matt Chico has displayed excellent command today, but he's had a couple pitches that have really gotten away.
I think they're both on changeups as well. This is another off-speed pitch. It looked like a changeup grip in his glove, and he just spikes it into the dirt out there in front of home plate once again.
So a base hit here could tie it. Boy, Robert Fick playing very deep out in left against a pull fly ball hitter and Alfonso Soriano, but he doesn't have to worry about any action out there this at bat as Soriano strikes out, leaving Hill at second base.
It's a classic that still has much flavor. McDonald's Double Quarter Pounder with cheese. 2 big juicy quarter pound patties of 100% pure beef, pickles, and diced onions. Some things that are old school never lose their cool. Talk to me, girl. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
A method doctors use to remove warts at the office is also available at home. Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away Wart Remover. Just press and freeze. It works fast in as little as 1 treatment.
See, that was easy.
Remove warts fast with Freeze Away from Dr. Scholl's.
If a Cubs player hits a homer today, write down the distance and player's name and send it to WGN TV. You could win 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination.
Becker gets shot and the crime scene is suspect.
The drinking establishment catering to homosexuals.
Next, Becker.
Detective Dipowitz there makes me sound like I'm the Staten Island Fair.
Tonight at 9 Eastern on Superstation WGN. Steven Seagal, Chris Christopherson. Fire Down Below, Thursday at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Well, it's Independence Day, and we certainly want to thank all the men and women of the armed forces serving our country here and abroad, particularly in Iraq, as we celebrate the 4th of July here in 2007. The Vietnam Memorial. Bob, I know you went over there the other day, and a very moving experience.
Oh, man, one of the more emotional moments I've had in a long time. It is just absolutely overwhelming when you walk by that the wall. Over 58,000 names on that wall, and being the 4th of July holiday, a lot of family and friends were there. It was a very touching moment.
Bottom 5. Curveball strike on Jesus Flores. Hit a 2-run shot in the 6th inning on Sunday at Pittsburgh off left-hander Paul Mulholland. That was his first major league home run. That one felled Rob Bowen. He needs a moment.
That right shoulder, fortunately a padded area, but it still jars that neck and collarbone area.
The 0-2 on the way. And foul by Flores. Chico on deck, the pitcher. He's 1 for 1. Neither team has really manufactured anything. Only run coming on a solo home run by Ryan Zimmerman in the first. Soriano will come in, play it on the bounce.
Soriano played it on a long hop too. This is dangerous out here. Nobody to back up this play. Realizes he can't get to it in time. Fortunately, that hop comes right up into his glove. You can see there's nobody behind him with the bullpen out there in left field, and they can't help. Chico with 3 sack bunts this season. Figures to be putting down a bunt right here.
Already showing bunt. Bowen has to throw to first. Fontenot, the second baseman, covering. Good job by Chico to really deaden that ball out in front of home plate.
Got a lot of backspin on this bunt. It almost checks up in that dirt out there in front of home plate. Just hits and stops. You can see that ball still had some side spin when Bowen picked it up. A brief look to second base, but no chance for a play there. Throws on to Fontenot for the out at first.
Now Nook Logan, who recently, at least temporarily, gave up switch hitting. Right now batting just right-handed. Quaddy helping out with the defensive positioning. I think he's looking at Angel Pagan on center. Curveball low and inside. Logan was converted from shortstop to center field back in 2001. Former Detroit Tiger. Excellent speed. Lenny Harris is their hitting coach, took over for Mitchell Page, who left the Nationals in May for personal reasons. Foul tip into the glove to make it 1-2.
I'll tell you, Len, being a big league hitting coach is enough of a job when you start the season with your guys and work with them all year long and learn their trigger mechanisms and what makes their swing work. But Lenny Harris was the minor league infield instructor for the Nationals before being named as the hitting coach here at the major league level. So he's still learning a lot of these players and their swings and what makes them work.
Yeah, you go from worrying about what you have to do to worrying about what 25 guys have to do. It's never ending.
Going to give it to a kid, I guess that's a good second option there.
He's saying, I dropped it on purpose, so you would get it. Runner at second with 1 out, 1 ball, 2 strike count on Nook Logan. Thought about offering at it, took it for ball 2. And the count is now level. Belliard next.
And I think a lot of baseball fans remember, I'm sure you remember Pete Rose during his playing days when he was at the plate, how he would track the ball all the way back into the catcher's glove. If you watch Mike Riley behind home plate, he does the same thing as an umpire.
Base hit into left. Flores had to hold up to make sure it got through. He's not going to test Soriano, first and third.
Ball outside part of the plate, about the middle of the thighs for Nook Logan. He finds that hole on the left side of the infield. Good, quick, wristy swing that time.
We'll keep an eye on Mike Riley.
Yeah, especially on low pitches. You really notice it on low pitches. His head will go down, and you can almost see the top of his head as he tracks that ball all the way into the catcher's glove. If the pitch is on the outside part of the plate, you'll see his head go that direction. Tracks it all the way past the strike zone.
Outside corner strike. Well, Mike Riley has worked 3 World Series, the first of which came in 1984 involving Alan Trammell. Tigers and the Padres. And he was able to umpire part of that series in his home state of Michigan.
Mike Riley has a lot of energy for the job. We talk about players that have a lot of energy and seem to always be excited to be at the ballpark. Just by their body language, they show they want to be there. They want to do a good job. And Mike Riley's one of those umpires that shows those same traits. I mean, he really gets down there behind the catcher. His head is almost level with Rob Bowen's back there behind the plate as he tracks those pitches into the zone.
Seems like we've seen a slight variation of the pickoff move from Rich Hill just about every start this year. At one point he had the hesitation move, was able to pick off Rafael Furcal. He'll have to show his best move against Logan here. Fair ball. I guess it doesn't matter as Flores scores. Logan on his way to third. Belliard hustling hard to second to slide in safely. And it's 2-0.
Big breaking ball once again, just didn't get down in the zone, stayed up around the middle of the thighs. Belliard buggy whips it down that third baseline to drive home another run.
Brings Larry Rothschild out. Second and third, Ryan Zimmerman already with 2 hits. They have first base open. But after him, Dimitri Young.
Zimmerman's the guy you wanted to play with the runner at first base and 1 out. He's grounded into 16 double plays this year.
Cubs infield will scoot in. They're going to intentionally walk Zimmerman and take their chances with Young.
Young, on the other hand, has only grounded into 4 double plays all season. This is a percentage move. Zimmerman's had 2 real good looks at Rich Hill in this ball game. A line drive home run back in the first, a clean single leading off the fourth. Who decides with a base open he's not going to give him an opportunity to swing the bat in this situation.
This will be the first walk for either team, and it'll be intentional. That's the second intentional walk of the year for Rich Hill, and Dimitri Young will bat with the bases full of Nationals. Young's had a quiet series. 1 for 9, but he hasn't been quiet lately. Check swing and ball 1. Oh, he went. They checked down. Jeff Kellogg said he went too far with that swing.
And a couple of borderline check swing calls in this game. Looked like Dimitri Young was able to check just like Mike Fontenot did, but both times called for a swinging strike.
0-2, so now Hill will try to put him away. And prior to today, Dimitri Young hitting .404 since May 17th, leading all National League hitters. The pitch, too high. Deep drive, Soriano back at the warning track. It's a grand slam for Dimitri Young. On an 0-2 pitch. Actually, I think it was a 1-2 pitch, but he was up in the count. That curveball caught way too much of the plate. Turns into center as he lines out to Pregame. A grand slam for Dimitri Young. That came after the intentional walk to Zimmerman.
Looks like Rich's curveball today has a little more sideward movement than straight down. We're used to seeing that 12-6 curveball as you get a look at Soriano trying to climb the fence out there in left field to no avail. When Rich's curveball is real good, it's dropping straight down. It seems to have a little side tilt to it today.
Foul past third.
Another look at that 1-2 pitch to Dimitri Young. Ball coming right over the heart of the plate, middle of the thighs. Dimitri Young laying all over.
And just like that, it's 6-0. ball has really hurt Rich this year. Second one he's allowed in this contest, 18 on the year. Woody Williams, Cole Hamels leading the National League, allowing 19 home runs apiece.
It's kind of odd because Cole Hamels is very similar in style to Rich Hill. Big, tall left-hander. Throws a fastball and a big over-the-top curve.
So that'll end the inning, but a damaging one as they score 5 times. A big blast, a 4-run homer by Dimitri Young, and it's 6-0 Washington.
He wrote the book on relationships.
He's just not that into you.
Now he's making over your life.
Today, I want to change your life. It's almost a miracle. You look beautiful.
You're pretty. And your relationships.
You need to get some dating done. Are you psyched about that?
The Greg Barrett Show.
Take a look.
Weekdays at 2 on Superstation WGN.
Welcome to California.
We cruise.
We fly.
We run.
We go with the flow.
We let go. And we believe one simple thing.
That every day in California is your lucky day.
Is your lucky day.
So there's just one thing you have to ask yourself.
How fast can you get here?
Find yourself in California. Southwest Airlines is taking low fares farther with more than 90 daily flights from Chicago Midway to these cities.
You are now free to move about the country. Switch to Valvoline's Max Life. And there's no telling how long your car will keep going.
Sweet.
Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge. The 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Drive it forever.
Irritating skin itch? Get the quick fix. Bug bite itch? Get the quick fix. Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream helps stop skin irritations and itches fast with 2 strong medicines. Got an itch? Get Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream, the quick fix for almost every itch. Just think about it. Get it?
A very frustrated Rich Hill, who gave up a grand slam on a 1-2 curveball to Dimitri Young. Meantime, Matt Chico's allowed just 3 hits and no runs through 5 innings. The Cubs have had 3 runners get into scoring position, but all stranded. Two quick ones on Terrio with Leon Ramirez to follow. The next pitch inside. Even with the Young grand slam, at this point the game-winning hit would be the Zimmerman first inning home run, and he has come up huge on holidays. Rattled around the dugout, and it's really sent Lou Piniella down the steps. He went flying down the stairs in the dugout to get out of the way of that screamer.
Who hasn't moved that fast since he tried to bowl over Carlton Fisk at home plate back in his playing days?
All I saw was this blur of a gray uniform go flying down the steps, and it was the manager. Easy play for Logan. Ryan Zimmerman on Father's Day last year hit a game-ending 2-run homer off Chin-Ming Wong of the Yankees. And then on the 4th of July last year, 1 year ago today against Florida, game-ending 3-run shot off Joe Borowski. This year on Mother's Day, a game-ending grand slam off Jorge Julio. And then on Father's Day, a solo shot off Josh Towers, snapping a 2-2 tie. So you have to stay away from Ryan Zimmerman on big holidays.
Well, and if you're the Nationals, you have to point out that every day is some kind of a holiday. You know, Secretary's Day, or not Groundhog Day, but you know, there's some kind of a holiday every day. I think if I were the Nationals, I'd point that out to Ryan Zimmerman.
And Dimitri Young with a big blast. Lee rolls over, and it's Zimmerman will throw him out. Plus, the Cubs take on the Giants Monday, July 16th at 6:05. The first 20,000 fans will get a scratch and win card, and 500 random winners will receive a Rawlings official baseball autographed by Derek Lee. Fans are encouraged to hold on to their cards for second chance drawings throughout the game. For complete rules, visit Cubs.com. I believe it's technically a 6:08 start or thereabouts on the 16th. But we'll hit the air at 6 on WCIU channel 26. The ball hit Ramirez, which made it foul. And one note on the Mother's Day game ender by Zimmerman. It will be officially listed as Saturday, May 12th, but they had a couple of rain delays. It lasted in excess of 3.5 hours, so it actually occurred at 1:42 a.m. on May 13th, which was Mother's Day. So it started the day before, and it was a late night.
But he waited till Mother's Day to hit it.
Right.
He didn't hit it the day before. Tomorrow's National Sweat Sock Day.
Left center field and down for a hit. Ramirez has hit an 8 in a row. He's out for the second time. The first time he reached was because of an error.
Cubs need to make some kind of a dent in this 6-run lead that the Nationals hold right now. Just back away. You can't get them all back at one time. I mean, of course you can, but the idea is to get one here and a couple there and 3 here, and before you know it, you're back in the ball game.
A lot of strikes today for Matt Chico. First time the Cubs have ever faced him. There's another one.
Well, you can see from his velocities on that fastball, he's consistently sitting in the mid to upper 80s, not overpowering at all. He just hasn't made a lot of mistakes over the middle of the plate so far in this game.
Logan coming in. He's going to lay out and made the catch. So Logan robs DeRosa of a hit and ends the top of the 6th. Everything going right today for a struggling Nationals club as they're shutting out the Cubs.
And now, here are today's midday winning lottery numbers.
Chicks, dig Becker.
Someone has been working out.
Becker, watch him operate 5 nights a week.
Late nights on Superstation WGN.
I can feel a change a-coming. Start anew. Change. Change. A change will do you good.
Michelob Light, crafted with noble European aroma hops. For a full-flavored light beer as distinctive as the bottle itself. Michelob Light, distinct by design.
Golfbot.com is going to change history. It's going to be big. Bigger than the Big Mac.
They say it's going to be bigger than the Big Mac. Yeah, they're geniuses.
I heard it's supposed to be bigger than the Big Mac. We should get in on that.
Bigger than the Big Mac.
It better be with all this hype.
Come on. Bigger than a Big Mac. At least, I mean, if not bigger.
Right, here we go.
Ooh. Not quite as big as the Big Mac, huh?
With 100% beef, nothing tops the Big Mac.
This summer, get the sunblock that also blocks the bite. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast Sunblock and Repellent. Up to 8-hour protection against harmful rays and pesky bites without the odor. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast. Block the burn and the bite.
For my sport, the only sunscreen is Coppertone Sport.
It protects me from damaging UVA and UVB rays.
And it doesn't run in my eyes, no matter how hard I sweat.
Coppertone Sport, high-performance sunscreens. The tears, the talent, and the outtakes. American Idol Rewind. Saturdays on Superstation WGN.
Back in the bottom of the sixth, they had Robert Fick fouling out. A nice play by Aramis Ramirez reaching over the railing.
Well, we've talked about the immense amount of foul ground here. Ramirez with a long way to go, able to reach over that railing and make a nice catch on that foul ball.
Flores just a little bit out in front. He started the fifth with a single and would come around to score on the RBI double by Ronnie Belliard. First of 5 runs in that inning. So this will be the final start of the first half for Rich Hill. It is Wednesday, and you know, Saturday, Sunday could be available in an emergency if needed out of the bullpen. It's golfed over Fontenot and in front of Pregame for a 1-out single. Ten hits now for the Nationals as we check in on today's Honda Civic game summary. 10-game hitting streak for Mark DeRosa, double for Ryan Theriot. But not much else has gone right for the Cubs today. A couple of hits, including a home run for Zimmerman. The big blow, a Dimitri Young grand slam. Matt Chico has been tremendous. Popped up on the bunt, and it drops. Hill will recover, throw to first. Fontenot covering the base, and a good play by Rob Bowen. Nobody was at third base as they keep Flores at second. And it will be a sacrifice. By the way, get performance and save gas. Test drive a new Civic at your Honda dealer today. How about this play?
Bowen and Ramirez very nearly run together going after this pop-up. It drops to the ground. Rich Hill alertly picks it up and throws on to first to make sure they at least get one out in that situation. And as you said, you can see where Ramirez is. Right now there is nobody at third base. When Bowen saw the ball on the ground, he stopped thinking he was going to have to pick it up. And alert, fast base runner could have rounded the bag at second and come right on over to third base because nobody was there to cover until the very end of the play.
Get me over curve. Strike one on Logan. Big Cubs happy 4th of July. The huge Cub fan Nirvana Cobb watching today's telecast. Also Ray Emberg in Long Beach, California. Hopefully Ray was up early today in California watching the Cubs. It's from your daughter Cindy. Happy birthday on the 4th to Ray Tipton. Bowen wants a word with his pitcher. Got a nice email from Karen Smith. Wanted us to say hi to her mother-in-law, June Smith, a very loyal Cub fan in South Bend, Indiana. Originally from Zanesville, Ohio. Billy Petrick, a right-hander's out. The 0-2 on the way. Got him, called strike 3. The curveball freezes Nook Logan. Nationals strand one. We go to the 7th. 6-0 Washington.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits.
Sweet. Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
Something to remind me of another place and time.
Heartburn?
Painful.
Zantac.
Okay.
Better? Completely. Zantac's fast. Maximum strength Zantac after a meal quickly relieves heartburn.
Dinner?
Sure.
Zantac.
First.
Prevents?
Definitely Zantac's fast. Maximum strength Zantac before a meal prevents heartburn. Heartburn?
Yeah.
Prescription.
Slow.
The leading prescription can take a day or more to fully work.
Zantac.
Better. Zantac's fast. For heartburn, why wait? Zantac's fast.
Time now for our Bud Light Fan Cam on Independence Day in America's capital. A classic from Yes. The song is America. The group is Yes. Sound of John Anderson and Yes, their cover version of Simon and Garfunkel's America on the 4th of July in Washington. Today's Bud Light Fan Cam, always worth it.
Good tune today. Angel Pagan, it's a rocket foul. We're in the 7th inning. It's starting to get late, and the Cubs are down 6 runs. Chico has scattered 4 hits through the first 6 innings. On a hop, it's Lopez. Fontenot will bat, the second baseman, 0 for 2 to start his afternoon. Cubs in danger of dropping a game to the Nationals for the first time this year. Winning the first 5. Need to win one of these final 2 to take this series. 2 teams going in opposite directions prior to today. The Cubs, the hottest team in baseball, winning 20 of their last 29. Shallow left, and it's Lopez again. It's time to make the catch. Nationals losing 7 of 8 prior to today.
Perfect 5-0 record coming into play today. They've hit well, they've pitched well, and they've kept the Nationals from hitting much before today.
Strike 1 on Bowen. 2 strikes on the Cubs backstop. Pinch hitter on deck in Rich Hill's spot, Jock Jones. Petrick continues to throw in the bullpen. Called strike 3 to end the inning. We'll keep it here for God Bless America on Independence Day.
Please join us in honoring our country with the singing of God Bless America. From the Brotherhood of Dahan, recording artist Jeff Wyant.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies and the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Celebrating our nation's birthday in our nation's capital. We'll be back.
My country, 'tis of the sweet land of liberty of the icy.
This 4th of July, the people of Southwest Airlines join the people of the United States of America as we celebrate our independence.
From every mountainside, let freedom ring.
You are now free to celebrate your birthday, America.
So you'll let me test drive your network, and if you're not the best...
We'll pay for your calls.
Really?
You're good. America's most reliable.
Well, we'll see about that.
The new Turtle Waffle Bowl Sundae at Dairy Queen with creamy DQ soft serve, pecans, and... Wait, is it pecans or pecans? Pecans? Okay. Pecans and gooey caramel. Or is it caramel? Do one.
For my sport, the only sunscreen is Coppertone Sport.
It protects me from damaging UVA and UVB rays.
And it doesn't run in my eyes, no matter how hard I sweat.
Coppertone Sport, high-performance sunscreens.
Time to have a ball with our friends at the Illinois Lottery. Independence Day here in Washington, D.C. It's our Have a Ball brought to you by our friends at the Illinois Lottery. Cesar Torres now into play, shortstop. Brian Terrio moves from short to second. And Billy Petrick takes over on the mound. So he'll have his Torres hitting ninth, which means he'll lead off the 8th inning. Petrick in Fontenot's spot. Well, the one thing Hill did, even though it wasn't a quality start, is he gave Lou Piniella 6 innings. It's one thing to give up 6 runs and not have your best stuff, but at least Rich helped save the bullpen a little bit today. But not an outing that he will be happy with at all. It's Derek Lee to make the catch. 1 out.
More than anything else for Rich Hill today was just the inconsistency. He threw some really good breaking balls, and then he left some over the heart of the plate. He threw some real good fastballs around the edges of the zone, and he made some mistakes up and out over the plate. And every pitcher's going to make mistakes. You just hope that when you do make them, that the hitter either misses it or pops it up or hits it right at one of your defenders, and that wasn't the case today.
Zimmerman again with an opportunity to have another game-winning home run. This one crunched. Pagan taking a look at the fence. He doesn't get all the way there. Halfway through the track, hauls it in and retires Zimmerman for the first time. Big hand for Dimitri Young, who hit a grand slam in the 5th. That turned a 2-0 Nationals lead into a 6-0 advantage. On the fastball for a strike. Bob Howery last night, we saw one of the readings at 99. Saw him in the clubhouse before the game, and that's fair. So Dimitri Young loses his helmet. We talked about it last night. And he's just a triple away from the cycle. Single, a home run, and a double. Did he lose his helmet on purpose? That's the question.
Ramirez playing well off the line at third for Dimitri Young, and he puts it right down the stripe into the corner for an extra base hit. The helmet's slowing him down. Get rid of it. There you go.
In honor of the Sarge. Flipped the helmet off as he got near first base.
Sarge used to lose his a step or two out of the batter's box. It was a trademark of Willie Mays when he played for the Giants as well, always running out from underneath his helmet. A lot of people don't realize that the helmet he wore was about a half a size too big. He had such great reflexes. He could get out of the way of any inside pitch, and once he put the ball in play, he didn't want that thing on his head anymore, so he just ran out from underneath it.
Well, Young a switch hitter, so the single and the home run coming from the right side, and the double here in the 7th as a lefty.
Well, you have to believe if he's going to get the triple and complete the cycle, it's going to take a very well placed hit and some serious defensive miscommunication.
This would seem to be a good triples park for Dimitri Young. Yeah, maybe something that rattles around in the right field corner.
Take off his helmet between home and first. Take off his shirt between first and second. Drop his pants between second and third. Try to get lighter each base.
2-2 on Kearns. 2 down in the inning. Petrick on in relief of Rich Hill. And the line drive is caught by Terrio. Inning over. To the 8th inning is Torres, Soriano, and Terrio. A lot of work to be done.
what the label looks like, no matter how you say it. One beer is the perfect choice at any corner bar in any corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Heartburn?
Painful.
Zantac.
Okay.
Better? Completely. Zantac fast. Maximum strength Zantac after a meal quickly relieves heartburn.
Dinner?
Sure.
Zantac.
First.
Prevents?
Definitely Zantac's fast. Maximum strength Zantac before a meal prevents heartburn. Heartburn?
Yeah.
Prescription.
Slow.
The leading prescription can take a day or more to fully work.
Zantac.
Better. Zantac's fast. For heartburn, why wait? Zantac's fast.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Every time they get close, within arm's reach, just a breath away, Jack Bauer is always one step ahead. No one can catch him except you. Catch 24 Saturdays at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Becker gets shot and the crime scene is suspect.
The drinking establishment catering to homosexuals.
Next, Becker.
Detective Dipowitz there. It makes me sound like I'm the Staten Island Fair.
Tonight at 9 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Let's take a look at our upcoming Cubs and Sox high-definition broadcast schedule sponsored by Comcast. The Sox are on WGN Sunday the 8th against the Twins at 1 o'clock. Bob and I are back in HD on WGN after the All-Star break. Sunday, July 15th versus Houston at 1 o'clock. And then July 16th on WCIU Channel 26, the Cubs hosting Barry Bonds and the Giants at 6 o'clock Central. 2007 Major League Baseball in HD, sponsored by Comcast. Some changes for the Nationals as Cesar Torres gets his first at bat. Ryan Langerhans is now playing left. Robert Fick moves from left to first. And Saul Rivera is the pitcher.
Saw Rivera in the ballgame last night, pitched a couple innings in relief of Tim Redding, gave up 3 hits, struck out 3 batters, but did not allow a run.
Sprayed foul by Torres. And his first action since Saturday against Milwaukee. Andy St. Clair, the Washington pitching coach. Still 1-2.
Rivera features a real good sinker, a hard slider. You see his Torres just getting the top half of the baseball that time, staying alive.
The paid crowd today, 39,207. Including the second largest walk-up crowd since baseball returned to Washington. 6,680 decided to buy tickets today. Caught by Lopez. He had to wait back and time his leap. And did accordingly, made the catch. Nicely done.
A soft line drive. Unfortunately, it wasn't hit real hard. If it was hit harder, Lopez would have had to make an immediate reaction to jump for that ball. But as you said, he was able to time it, get underneath it, and then go up the ladder to make the catch on that soft line drive.
I think we've heard more booing as the series has gone along for Alfonso Soriano. I seem to recall Monday got a mixed reaction, but I heard a lot of cheers. But with the biggest crowd today, maybe more Nationals fans in attendance than the first 2 days. I don't know if they're booing him or the fact that he's just no longer a National. And as we discussed, I don't think anybody expected Washington to re-sign him and spend the kind of money that the Cubs ended up spending because they are in a rebuilding mode. But as you said, the fact that they didn't trade him surprised a lot of people.
Well, you know, there were several teams at the deadline last year that would have loved to have had Alfonso Soriano for their stretch runs and would have been willing to give up a boatload of prospects or maybe young major league players, but Nationals chose to hold on to Soriano, and as we mentioned last night, he was really their only drawing card last year as well. If you get rid of your one superstar player, there's not much reason for fans to come out to the ballpark.
That was a fair ball. How about that swing? Soriano will end up at second base with his 24th double.
Just kind of flicks at it, hits the ball right off the base at third. Andy Fletcher there to make the fair call. That ball was almost on the ground. You could see Lopez behind home plate was going down, or rather Flores was going down to block that pitch.
He pulls balls down the line, pitches that other guys can't pull, can't even make contact.
I was going to say other guys can't hit. Part of it is a byproduct of standing so close to the plate with that closed stance. He has great plate coverage.
Terrio hustling down the line as it's charged by Zimmerman. And it's the first time the entire game that Mike Quaddy's had somebody friendly to talk to at third base. Soriano, the first Cub to get to third base all day.
Well, nothing against Andy Fletcher, the third base umpire, or Ryan Zimmerman, the third baseman, but it's nice to have a familiar face in uniform over there to talk to.
Two 2-0 on Lee.
Talking about this.
3-0 on Lee. We'd love a couple of walks here. Pile up some runners. This is one of those days where at the very least you'd like to make them bring in their closer. They may do that anyway. We haven't seen Chad Cordero in this series. But you'd love to get an extra look at him setting up for tomorrow night. Broken bat, Belliard got over there and throws him out. Ronnie Belliard is good as any second baseman in the game going back into the outfield grass and made it look very easy. 6-0.
Caution, professional tool man at work. He's fully trained to handle dangerous situations. Like 3 kids, 1 wife, and Al. Remember, don't try this at home. Home Improvement, weekdays.
Weekdays at 5:30 on Superstation WGN.
Have you enjoyed a Budweiser lately? Because I can only describe the smoothness you'll get from Beechwood Aging. I can only tell you about the choicest hops. But if you really want to understand what makes Budweiser the king of beers, you have to taste it. Just taste it. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Visit the largest science museum in the Western Hemisphere, the Museum of Science and Industry, msichicago.org.
For my sport, the only sunscreen is Coppertone Sport.
It protects me from damaging UVA and UVB rays.
And it doesn't run in my eyes, no matter how hard I sweat.
Coppertone Sport high-performance sunscreens on the next Scrubs. It's a little fantasy, a little reality,
Oh, sorry, if that gets infected, I'm a doctor.
and a whole lot of Tara Reid. Next Scrubs. Tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
6-0 Nationals. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
These doctors are on the cutting edge of comedy. Catch a full hour of the Emmy Award-winning series Scrubs, weeknights at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Scott Air, veteran left-hander, having probably the toughest year of his major league career. Looking for a clean 8th inning as he faces Felipe Lopez of the Nationals. Lopez is 1 for 3 with a stolen base. Swung on and missed. Well, we got an email, and somebody noticed this. We were talking about it before the game. I believe it's B.J. Wilson looking at the email. The one game of these last 11 that the Cubs lost, we were not broadcasting. It was a national broadcast. So the games we've done, Cubs have won 10 in a row. Now, the email doesn't say anything about the offer or bet we had made. I think it was our first year that if the Cubs win 10 in a row, you would shave your goatee and I would grow one. But I don't think technically it really counts, right? It's just 10 of 11.
Yeah. Plus, I think the statute of limitations has expired on that deal.
Well, yeah, we said if the Cubs win 10 in a row, we would adjust our look a little bit. So I'll keep shaving, and you keep doing what you're doing for now. But we would gladly, if the Cubs could win 10 in a row, we would do it, right? Behind the post, Bob Brenly.
You just hope that the 10th win is not a Carlos Zambrano no-hitter, because then we'll have to shave our heads too.
Yeah, we both said we would do that if Carlos throws a no-no, which he will at some point.
Hopefully after the statute of limitations expires on the shaving head deal.
Fly ball off the bat of Lopez. Angel Pagan in center. 1 out. Well, I'll tell you what, I like this streak this year because last year there was a long stretch of games on WGN, especially the first couple of months. It was ridiculous. Like, you know, Cubs had lost 17 of 20 or something like that. Much different story here in 07. Tony Batista will pinch hit. The producer of Cubs baseball here on WGN Sports, Pete Toma. Skip Ellison is our director. Our associate producer, Mark Brady. The executive producer of WGN Sports, Bob Borwald. Thanks as well to our stage manager in the booth, Tracy Roberts. Our studio coordinator back at WGN, Steve Novak, and the rest of our great crew here at RFK Stadium. Fouled away by Batista, who's batting for Fick. Not the first time he has played with his franchise. Former Montreal Expo. Batista has knocked in 100 runs 3 times in his career, has hit at least 30 home runs 4 times. Was signed by Oakland out of the Dominican Republic in 1991. Juan Marichal discovered and signed him.
run from 1999 to 2004. 26 homers, 41, 25, 31, 26, 32, 27. A unique approach, to say the least. Looks like he's offering his bat to the pitcher before getting it back into a hitting position.
He spent some time in Japan. And he'll draw the walk. Flores will dig in. 2 for 3 for the Nationals' young catcher. Happy birthday to a big Cub fan, Herb Zaire in Bloomington, Illinois. Happy 82nd. Pregame squeezes Batista back to first. 2 outs. And Ryan Langerhans will get his first at bat. Came in to play left at the top of the inning.
Cycle for Dimitri Young today. Taken down in favor of Robert Fick at first base.
You know, the other thing to consider, Bob, about the All-Star game with the final man voting with Carlos Zambrano and those other pitchers, you may have injuries and guys who decide not to participate. So Carlos could also make it as a replacement. John Smoltz is iffy. And some soreness still in his right shoulder. And we do know that Dimitri Young and Derek Lee, Alfonso Soriano will all participate. Or at least be available to participate. You know all about that, right? Just trying to get everybody in. And
no, you can't do that anymore.
You did what you were supposed to do.
This time it counts.
I mean, guys want to play. That's the point of the All-Star game.
That's the way we approached it.
I mean, nobody cares who wins the All-Star game, right? I mean, they do now, but yeah, just want to see the best. Swing for the fences. That's what people want to see.
Showcase their skills. Exactly. They want to see the good defenders make some good plays. They want to see the base stealers steal some bases. They want to see the strikeout pitchers punch out some guys, and the home run hitters hit homers.
6-0 as we go to the 9th from Washington.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares even farther. Visit southwest.com.
Make it easy for yourself. With Southwest Airlines, you can fly nonstop from Chicago Midway to Long Island MacArthur for just $39 one way with a 7-day advance purchase.
You are now free to move about the country.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Drive it forever.
Irritating skin itch? Get the quick fix. Bug bite itch? Get the quick fix. Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream helps stop skin irritations and itches fast with 2 strong medicines. Got an itch? Get Gold Bond Anti-Itch Cream, the quick fix for almost every itch.
Your test results came back great. Looks like the 2 of you can have a nice, healthy child together.
So this means that I'm not...
No, you're not lactose intolerant.
They were made for each other. Waffles and soft serve in the new Turtle Waffle Bowl Sundays at Dairy Queen with fresh baked waffles. Do one. And now go to freezeclickwin.com for a chance to win $500 daily.
America's Funniest Home Videos. Weeknights starting at 7 on Superstation WGN.
Well, only 3 outs to go, and it's been all Nationals today. The Cubs succumb here. You think about the 2 losses, blowout losses during this good stretch. I guess that's a Lou Piniella fan showing Lou in a rather emotional moment. So Ramirez will start the 9th against former Cub left-hander Ray King.
Today's game, Len, reminded me a little bit of a lot of Cubs games in the past couple years when they face a pitcher that they're not familiar with, somebody they've never seen before. Probably a very limited video library on Matt Chico, and Cubs just didn't have many good at-bats against him today.
You know, it's really reversed when you think about the Cubs' fortunes the first 2 months. They had a lot of games where they got up early and blew teams out, and then the games where it was really close, it seemed like the Cubs just couldn't find a way, and they had all those 1- and 2-run losses. Now, I feel like if they're in the game, they're going to win it. And the only way to beat them right now, because they're so hot, is to do what the Nationals have done today. And what Milwaukee did on Saturday. Struck well, but Langerhans positioned perfectly over toward left center.
Well, and to that point, I thought Cliff Floyd had some interesting comments in the papers this morning. He said earlier this year, when we got put in a situation, we were hoping for something good to happen. Now we just execute. You don't hope that something good happens. Go out and make it happen. The execution has been much better, moving runners, driving in runners from third base with less than 2. And I talk all the time about how much the defense has improved since earlier this season. So wishing and hoping doesn't get it done.
We have a Cub fan down near our field microphone asking the umpire for a warning. He wants Ray King and the Nationals to be warned after that up and in first pitch. The inside part of the plate. 3 balls, no strikes.
Why does that not surprise me?
He's a Cub fan and he's proud of his town. Ball 4. First walk the Cubs' batters have taken.
Nationals are not going to hold on Mark DeRosa over there at first base with a 6-run lead here in the 9th inning. These kind of mixed schools about whether DeRosa should go ahead and take second base or not. Personally, I feel if he can get a jump over there and be 100% sure he's going to make it, I say go ahead and take the base, eliminate the possibility of a double play or a forced play at second base. Tony Batista has come in and is playing right behind the runner at first base, but he'll back up as the pitch is delivered.
No problem for Austin Kearns. And 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Tony Batista staying in and playing first base. The sun conditions with the flip downs. Coy Hill bats for Scott Air. Ground ball to third. This should do it. Zimmerman pops it over, and the Nationals, for the first time this year, have beaten the Cubs. After the Cubs took the first 5 in the season series, and the Cubs shut out for the 4th time here in 07. So their record now 42-41. Still a chance to win the series if they can take Game 4 tomorrow night. Much more to come from D.C. The final score: the Washington Nationals 6, the Cubs nothing, on the 4th of July. We'll be back.
Just because I'm a foster kid doesn't mean I'm a lost cause.
I have the potential for greatness.
Some people have an attitude about me because my parents have problems.
Give me a chance.
Do something to help me make it.
Make foster care better.
Don't write me off.
Foster kids are our kids.
Before you order your next beer, consider this. Budweiser still goes to the expense of Beechwood aging, an original old-world style of lagering. And Budweiser cares enough to own and maintain world-renowned hop farms. A perfect choice in every corner bar, in every corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
I ain't got no money. I ain't got no car to take you on a date. Talk to me, girl.
It's a classic that still has much flavor. McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese. 2 big juicy quarter-pound patties of 100% pure beef, pickles, and diced onions. Some things that are old school never lose their cool.
Talk to me, girl.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Watch Funniest Pets and People and get your groove on. Kick up your heels. Maybe do-si-do or do-si-don't. Watch people and their pets get funky. It's so funny, it'll bring you to your knees. Boogie down with Funniest Pets and People. Weeknights at 6:30, only on Superstation WGN.
For the Washington Nationals, they finally busted out of it offensively. Last 10 games, they had scored more than 3 runs. They get 6 today on 11 hits. 1 error, 6 men left for the Cubs. No runs, 5 hits, 1 error, 7 left. The Cubs went 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. The winning pitcher, Matt Chico, in his first ever outing against the Cubs. 7 shutout innings. He improves to 4-5. Rich Hill drops beneath 500, 5-6 with a loss. 2 hours, 31 minutes the game time in front of 39,207. So the Nationals beat the Cubs 6-0, and we'll have more from RFK Stadium as we continue.
Flying to the Washington area for business? If these 15 reasons don't convince you to fly Southwest Airlines nonstop to Baltimore, Washington, and Washington Dulles International, maybe this will. Unlike other airlines, our low fares don't have hidden fees.
You are now free to move about the country.
Visit the largest science museum in the Western Hemisphere, the Museum of Science and Industry, msichicago.org.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction.
Perhaps as the Nationals beat the Cubs 6-0.
One day you find it's not business as usual. Your hair is gray, and you wonder, will people still see me as a valuable player? Is my career going down? How do you stop that?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy, with 5-minute target gray technology.
Now doors are opening, and you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
Just because I'm a foster kid doesn't mean I'm a lost cause.
I have the potential for greatness.
Some people have an attitude about me because my parents have problems.
I wish you could see me for who I am.
Don't be afraid of me.
And don't feel bad for me.
Just care what happens to us.
Dame una oportunidad.
If you can't be a foster parent, find another way to help foster children thrive.
Do something to help me make it.
Help make foster care better.
Just do something.
Don't write me off.
Don't write me off. Don't write me off.
Foster kids are our kids. This message brought to you by WGN TV and the Illinois Foster Care Agency in your community.
Welcome back to Washington, D.C. as the Cubs get shut out today. The final 6-0. Our next broadcast on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station. Saturday night from Pittsburgh, the Cubs and Pirates will play the middle game of their final series before the break. Ted Lilly will go for the Cubs. Right-hander John Ben Scoten for the Pirates. 6 o'clock Central Time will hit the air. Our 60th year of bringing you Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. Baseball like it ought to be. It was not the Cubs' day today as the Washington Nationals beat them 6-0. So now for Bob Brenly, Pete Thomas, Skip Ellison, Mark Brady, and our entire crew, this is Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned. We'll have the Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show coming up next.
Chicago Cubs baseball, brought to you by Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste. Your Chicagoland Dodge dealers. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit southwest.com today.
When your in-home disasters become America's biggest laughter, we've got it all caught on tape. Even when things go extremely wrong, laughter makes it oh so right. It's the cranks, pranks, and all-out stupid maneuvers that make nights a splash. So when life gets a little crazy, Remember to take some time to laugh. America's Funniest Home Videos, weeknights at 7 Eastern on Superstation WGN. It's great to be home.
No one is talking about ovarian cancer, so we have to talk because every woman is at risk. Today, there's no cure and no proven technique for early detection. The promising research advances are on the horizon. Here's what you can do now. Talk to your doctor. Ask lots of questions because you need to know the symptoms and the risk factors. The Ovarian Cancer Research Fund. Call 1-800-873-9569 or visit ocrf.org. Promise me you'll talk about this, and I know we can find a cure.
It's time to laugh. America's Funniest Home Video starts right now on Superstation WGN.